visit some brother out on my call. This is the moment you're meant to know.
Well, hello there, sunflowers. How are you guys today? Well, I hope you guys are doing good. Somebody wanted a request on Aaron Pierre, so right there down below. Thank you so much for your request. I had to look into who Aaron Pierre was, and little did I know he is dating Tiana Taylor. And what I did recently find out is that Tiana Taylor recently opened up about how she wants to keep their relationship out of the wraps, is that's the best way to put it, and she doesn't really want to put labels on their relationship. So it sounds, the best way I can say that, what it appears to me is that they are taking it slow. They're just in the phase of enjoying each other's company, and they're not trying to rush each other. But I'm not here to talk about Tiana Taylor and Aaron Pierre. I'm going to be doing a reading about his career because he just recently had a 007 movie come out recently this year. I think it's on Amazon Prime. Let's see. I did just recently watch his movie Brothers. I know that's like 3 or 2 years old, but I wanted to get a good sense of vibe of who he is as an actor, because according to Google, he is known for being able to convey sentimentals through the expressions and emotions on his face. And because of that, I wanted to go check it out and see what he has to offer, because Tiana Taylor's into him, he's into her. They both was he was in her music video just recently, not just recently, but within this year. So because of that, they are really enjoying his company. The one thing, okay, not about Tiana Taylor. So back to Aaron Pierre. What else do I know about him? I know him and a few other actors and actresses are being nominated at a award ceremony. I forget which one exactly, but I'm not too familiar with actors in movies and award shows that are dedicated towards films and production. So because of that, I'm sorry if I can't recall the names off of the top of my head, even though I did just research this. However, let's just figure out how Aaron Pierre's career is going. We're just going to do a reading on him, see how his energy is doing. I'm actually quite curious. I'm not a 007 fan, so it seems like he really likes those intensive characters that have depth to them, it sounds like. Or something that's going to cause him to be expressive. And that honestly makes me wonder, does he have a good handle and connection in one with his emotions to be able to express that connection? It's one thing to feel an emotion, and it's one thing to portray an emotion through body language, but the face, the subtle details, now that's impressive. That's impressive. That's impressive. So believe me, go Google it. Google it, said it themselves. That's what he is known for. And when you're an actor, to be known for something as great as being able to convey sentiments, that is definitely going to give you a longevity of a career, in my opinion. Okay. Wow. Those three cards just wanted to happen to flip itself out at me. So the first card we're going to put is right here, and that is the Daughter of Pentacles. We have the Chariot. Okay. And then the Moon card. Interesting. Let's see what's beneath him and above him. Oh, okay. I think this one's going to need some outside influences, honestly. Okay. A lot of cups and water. Jeez. Okay. Let me just look up his zodiac sign real quick, because I'm actually curious. If he's not a water sign, that would really be funny. I think he's an air. I think he's a Leo. Actually, I feel like I've looked this up before. My Google froze on me. Okay. Google. Oh, I was close enough. A Gemini, which is right next to Cancer, which is a very nice water sign. But I was just wondering because weirdly enough, the Chariot, which is a Cancer sign, happens to come out. But what I see here is the Chariot, the Moon, the Six of Cups, and the Father of Cups. So that's 4 cup signs, 4 water signs, 4 water cards. The element water is dominating this tarot deck. And as I said earlier, before I had pulled into this, I didn't think it was going to bring out emotions, but I just felt like as an actor, to be able to convey emotions, you must be able to tap in to emotions and know what it feels like inward and outwardly, if you know what I mean by that. So what I see here in the current moment we're just going to start with is the Chariot, which is a card about trying to move on from the past. I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to move on in the sense of, because it seems as though the Chariot always talks about a standstill, like you're trying to move forward, like you feel like something is holding you back as you're trying to move forward. You could be making forward literally and making stride and progress, but inwardly there feels like there's still some things that you have to address, and that even though you have walked on, you're still carrying and holding on to the baggage and the weight of that situation. So because of that, that's what I see about with his career. So in order to see what was going on in the past and what he's moving on from, see, it's a transitional stage for him at this very moment, I see, when it comes to the terms of his career. So I'm not sure if he's, since Brothers, he's had like an uprise, because that was one of the first movies that Google named to me when I looked up Aaron Pierre. So that was the first movie I checked out just to get a vibe and feel for him. So like I said, that's just a few years ago. He could still be adjusting to it all. But we see here, I would honestly, these cards make me actually want to know more about Aaron Pierre. I'm not even going to lie. I really want to know more about him, and this is quite interesting. But we have, if you have any information and know more about him, please leave your comments down below. Keep me informed. But we see here the Daughter of Pentacles, or the Page of Pentacles, which seems like, before we even got to that card, when it comes to terms of his career, you know what? I'm not going to guess. I'm going to ask. I'm really going to see, when did Aaron Pierre's career pop off? Exactly. I had to really do some deep dive right there, because I got a quick glimpse that actually I was right on track about people saying that he's a rising star. But I'm like, okay, a rising star, but how long has he been a rising star? Seems like he has prominent roles in the action genre, which seems to be right up his alley with that 007 film. So it seems as though action movies is his zhuzh, but I digress. What I did find out that was very important and key to this reading is that it seems as though 2020 was his breakout year. So that's 4 or 5 years that he's been in the game. So even though this is in the past, look, that's not a decade. 4 is the foundation. 5 is your foundation is kind of getting shook up, changed up, but you're also at that point where it's kind of frictionated and it's trying to figure out what you're going to do next and transitioning and going forward from here. So all that to be said, the Page of Pentacles, that's him in the past. That's him getting into the game, or been in the game and finally has gotten roles that has accumulated to his success that he is to where he is today. And because of that, we see above his head at that time, in that moment, the Page of Pentacles, or he felt as a novice, a person whose talents and recognitions was finally getting recognized, and he felt like the King of Cups emotionally. His thoughts, his emotions were, I don't want to say consuming him, but when it came to his career, it felt like the he if I don't valued is probably the best way I could say it. He was feeling emotional over the recognition and value that the recognition of his value is what was making him emotional. And I'm not it made it seem like all the work that he has done, maybe this, every actor says that it's been their dream to be an actor, but maybe there was something a little bit more deep rooted inside of him for why he wanted to become an actor to begin with. So to finally just shoom, it seems like since 2021, it's an emotional roller coaster, and we exactly see it here, weirdly enough, with the Six of Cups, talking about a deep-rooted sense of gratitude that he has for the fact that his career has grown. Maybe it could come from the sense of having lack. I'm not sure. He's from London. Things could be different over there in the UK. I'm not exactly sure of his back history. Like I said, these cards really make me want to know more about Aaron Pierre, and I even had to take a quick stop in between just to do a quick search on when did he come on scene to get a clearer image of what's going on and why do I feel a sense of emotional gratitude and trying to figure out the next steps moving forward kind of vibe. Because I'm just like, that sounds like somebody that's new in their career, but I'm just like, that could also just be somebody that has been at it for quite a while and it's time to switch up and change up your act too. So I'm like, which one is it? One is a novice and one is a seasoned veteran. So I wasn't sure which direction we were coming from with this angle of Aaron Pierre, but it just seems like he is a, what would people consider a seasoned veteran? Would that be 10 years? Because he's like, he's not like Salt Bay, but he's like, he's got some season in there. He's not quite a veteran, but he's not quite a novice either. So he's got a little season. So what I see here in the future, in his present, looking at that chariot, now that we've seen what was happening in his past and how he's just grateful for the trajectory that his career has taken. We see right now for the chariots, he's in that transitional phase, and not necessarily, I said baggage earlier. I still stand by the fact that it's baggage, but I'm just not quite sure what kind of baggage he's holding, because from this past, I see gratitude and I see somebody who, it could be the baggage of working, the lifestyle change, getting into a relationship, all those different things are coming together in his life at this moment. And it's like things are like weighing him down as he continues to live his life. And it's giving his energy to times and places and things. So baggage in the sense of carrying around a lot of things, whether it's unnecessary or not. It just seems as though that as he's trucking forward in his career, he's accumulating things. And right now at this very moment, it feels as a wheel of fortune, like things are kind of clicking together. Like this could be like his career. Like I said, things are accumulating for him. It actually, like I said at the very beginning, the cards look very good for Aaron, and it makes me hopeful for him. And once we get to know him more. So I see, though, at the very bottom, speaking of that 4/5 year time period, we see at this moment with this Five of Swords, that friction, that Five of Swords usually symbolizes you are fighting a battle. Either you're fighting a battle that people don't realize that they're in a battle fighting you with, or you have fought a battle and all parties know it's a battle and you come out victor and other people. There we go. It could come from the sense like that deep-rooted energy I was talking about. Maybe this could just stem from like a childhood, or just something from, I want to prove my worth. I want to show you guys that you were wrong about me. It's like proving your haters wrong kind of energy that I got, that he came out victorious. He came out the one standing strong, even though he has put all this mental and energy work into it. That's why I was like, for some reason, I see like a over sense of gratification. Like this means a whole lot more than I could imagine. And I don't know much about him too. And because of that, that's honestly the vibe I'm getting. That just this is that the way his career is growing and developing. It is a dream. It is an honor. It is something he cherishes. It's something that means a lot to him, and something that he is willing to put the time, energy, and effort into moving forward and going, but still not losing sight and track of himself, because that's exactly what the Chariot is. You're driving your life and making choices in your life, and you're choosing what to let in and out of your life, and what you're going to carry and not going to carry. And that's exactly what I see he is doing. And all in that, you are not losing fact that you're on track to a certain point and destination. That's why you on this journey. And that's how I see of Aaron Pierre, that and anything that's like an outside force that could get him distracted, he still keeps on point and on targeted. But he has a sense of stability and maturity to have balance with work and play, as they say. And then moving in the future, we have the Moon card. Now, the Moon for his career is quite interesting. The Moon symbolizes phases, but it can also symbolize a dark time. Now, I don't want to say he's going to have a dark time. The Moon over the Sun will be you know what this could be? This could be his own fears that's going to override him in the future. Why do I say that? Because both the Sun and the Moon came out. And because that pairing is interesting, we both have the inner, we have both the outer, which is the Sun, and the inner, which is the Moon. And those are your two core personalities outside of the personality that you project to other people, and that's how they interpret you, which is your rising sign. But that's a little bit of astrology. But we have your outside persona and your inside persona, the Sun and the Moon. But here, the way it comes out, the Moon is over the Sun. And if you think about it in terms of how things overlay each other in types of layers, that means the Moon is on top of the Sun. And if you think about that in terms of astronomy or astrology, or in terms of eclipses, is what I'm hinting at, that's considered a lunar eclipse. And if you want to think about it literally, like I was just talking about, that lunar eclipse is your emotions, your inner world overriding your Sun and your outer persona. That's why I said I feel as though he could be overwhelmed, or his emotions could get the best of him, like the fears, the trepidations, being overwhelmed. Even it could just be a phase. It's going to be a phase. It's always a phase. The Moon is a phase, period. The Moon is always going to change, but that Sun, exactly in the foundation, is never going to change. That foundation is solid. While he, whatever is going to happen for him in the future when it comes to his career, it seems like emotionally, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to show that expressively outward, that he's going through some inner turmoil or some lacking of confidence or having some doubt within himself when it comes to his career. And he could be expressing that with his girlfriend. Or it could just be, it could just mean that when it comes to his fears and trepidations, not even that, when it comes to being overwhelmed by the fact that his career is just going, maybe there could be something he was like really hoping, wanting for, and he just doesn't quite get it. But it's like a learning lesson. It's like, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. You know, I fell down, I get back up. You know, I'm still Aaron Pierre. Just because I didn't get that role, just because maybe I fell a little bit on hard times, however that might look for him in the time, because the Moon is temporary. So it's not like falling on hard times for good, but also knowing that at the end you do have somebody that you could lean on if you need to. But I see here that in his head and looking towards his future, we have the Page of Swords, or the Daughter of Swords. So that's another page. Now this page, first he was a page when it came to his earthly career and his physical gains, the material abundance that he was growing and accumulating. Now we're seeing here transitional phase currently right now from point A to point B on a journey. And we see that as he's moving along on the journey, could be at point, well, we know it's not exactly point B because we all know what point B is. Death. But point B could be that when it comes to his career, it's reached a closing of a chapter and time to start a new chapter. Maybe it could have been at a time where he needed to collect his thoughts and to make sure to not dwell or get overwhelmed or allow his thoughts to consume him. They could just be, I don't want to say petty, because when I think of the page, that it's like, I don't want to say quite immature and young, but when not full or like full, not fully developed, there's still some things you could learn along the way. And that's what I mean in the sense of they are petty, the little things that can trip you up along the way just because you want to be perfected or just because you're trying to prove something. The littlest details matter. So because of that, I am going to pull a outcome card for Aaron Pierre's career. This was actually very good. I really enjoyed it. I will do a deep dive on Aaron Pierre after this reading. I'm going to look into some interviews. Even though I said his movies aren't particularly my cup of tea, I will still just see his interviews, because at least through interviews you can get a sense of a person's personality, even though I might not be talking about when they're talking about the movies and the lore. So all that, let's look into and this goes exactly into what I was saying earlier at the very beginning, that he is a person that feels. So we have negative vibes. We have a busybody. And we have money. Say less. Negative vibes. That's the fear, the trepidation, the overwhelmingness. Busybody. Work, trying to keep yourself distracted. Make sure that you don't let it weigh you down. Keep you, if you're not focused on the negative vibes can't get you kind of mentality. And money. So go get that money, work on your career, work even harder. Don't let the negative energy try to get you down. Like, was it Christina Aguilera said, you won't get me down? I was trying to actually think of how that melody went. So that being said, all three of those actually came with a song attached to them. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading on Aaron Pierre. I sure did. Most definitely. So much so that before I even got into a deep dive into it, and I just looked at the 9-card spread at face value, I was like, this looks good. And I want to know more about him. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for this request. Really, it was a good reading on Aaron Pierre and his career. I wasn't sure exactly what I would find out, because right now all in the news that's talking about is him and Tiana Taylor and what she recently said. So I couldn't find much about what's going on in his career that's current. So with that being said, I see currently he's going through a transitional phase and probably out there promoting that 007 movie that just recently came out. So with that being said, I will see you sunflowers in the next one. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It will really mean a lot to the channel. Leave your comments down below if you have anything to say about Aaron Pierre, how you felt about this reading. Was I pretty accurate? If you're a fan of Aaron yourself, did I touch on some things? So with that being said, please give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already, and share this with anybody that's a fan of news with tarot, celebrity tarot, looking into just talking about celebrity news, period. And with that being said, I will see you sunflowers in the next one. Sunflowers.